Imagine a life where your emotions no longer control you. A life where distractions, cravings for approval, and the noisy chaos of the outside world cannot shake your inner peace. In this journey, the greatest battle isn't against external forces, but within your own mind, where invisible obstacles quietly sabotage your growth. This video will take you deep into the heart of Stoicism, revealing how to shield your mind from these subtle thieves of attention and emotional stability, and how to harness the power of silence and self-control to forge a path toward true, lasting success. We'll explore the transformative power of detaching from the endless chase for recognition, and the profound strength found in choosing silence over impulsive reactions. Vulnerability, when unchecked, turns into a trap, a dependency on others' approval that erodes your progress. But by building a secure mental refuge, protected from the toxicity of comparison and criticism, you reclaim your autonomy and create space for honest self-reflection. Discover how emotional education and disciplined rationality act as your most powerful weapons, neutralizing sudden emotional storms that could otherwise derail your goals. Recognizing that attention is your most precious resource, you'll learn why guarding it fiercely against meaningless distractions is crucial. This mental armor doesn't appear overnight. It demands conscious, continuous practice and the courage to confront your desires with reason. Avoiding emotional enslavement. By the end, you won't just understand Stoicism as a philosophy. You'll feel it as a living practice, one that guides you to act with silent resolve, to cultivate inner peace unshaken by external opinions, and most importantly, to unlock a version of success defined not by others, but by the clarity, balance, and control you wield over yourself. Prepare to embark on a powerful journey to silence the noise, command your emotions, and unlock the true success that lives within. If this is making sense to you so far, please take a moment to like the video and share it with someone who might benefit from hearing this message. Your support helps this wisdom reach more minds seeking clarity and resilience in a world that often feels overwhelming. Let's continue our journey into the heart of Stoicism, a philosophy not of cold suppression, but of profound understanding and empowered living. We've touched upon the noise that surrounds us, the subtle thieves of our peace. Now let's peel back the layers and uncover the practical tools that allow us to fortify our minds, cultivating an inner sanctuary where genuine growth can flourish. One of the most insidious thieves of our tranquility is the endless chase for external recognition. In our modern world, social media metrics, public accolades, and the ever-present gaze of others have become the primary arbiters of worth. We are subtly conditioned to believe that our value is derived from how many likes we get, how successful we appear, or how loudly our achievements are applauded. But what happens when the applause stops? What happens when the spotlight shifts? The Stoics understood this vulnerability centuries ago. They taught us the profound truth that true value, authentic success, and lasting happiness cannot be outsourced to the opinions of others. Think of it this way. When you base your self-worth on external validation, you hand over the reins of your inner peace to an unpredictable crowd. You become like a ship tossed by every gust of wind, always adjusting your sails, not for your true destination, but to appease the changing currents of public opinion. This is a precarious existence, fragile and easily shattered. The Stoic path, however, invites us to reclaim our sovereignty. It asks us to look inward, to cultivate virtues like wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance, not because they will earn us praise, but because they are inherently good and align with our rational nature. When your actions are driven by these internal compass points, external recognition becomes a mere indifferent, neither good nor bad in itself. It might be pleasant, but its absence causes no distress, and its presence brings no artificial inflation to your character. This detachment isn't about becoming indifferent to others or isolating yourself. It's about discerning what truly matters. It's about shifting your primary focus from the changeable, uncontrollable realm of external judgment to the stable, controllable realm of your own intentions and actions. A carpenter doesn't measure the quality of their work by the number of compliments received, but by the integrity of the joints and the strength of the structure. Similarly, the Stoic measures their life not by the clamor of the crowd, but by the integrity of their character and the unwavering pursuit of wisdom. In practice, this means regularly asking yourself, am I doing this for genuine reasons, aligned with my values, or am I doing this to impress someone? It means finding satisfaction in the effort, in the learning, in the honest attempt, regardless of the outcome or the audience's reaction. This is the bedrock of amor fati, the love of fate, which extends to embracing your own path and your own efforts, free from the dictates of external approval. Closely related to detaching from the chase for recognition is discovering the profound strength found in choosing silence over impulsive reactions. We live in an age of constant noise, where every thought, every opinion, every slight is often immediately broadcast and amplified. Social media, news cycles, and even personal conversations often demand an instantaneous response, a hot take, a definitive stance. But this culture of immediacy robs us of a crucial space, the space between stimulus and response. This space, as Viktor Frankl wisely observed, is where our power to choose lies. The Stoics understood the immense power of this pause. They taught the discipline of assent, which is the practice of withholding judgment and controlling our reactions. When an event occurs or an unkind word is spoken, our initial instinct might be to react emotionally, to lash out, to defend, or to feel offended. But this instinct is often driven by unexamined assumptions, fears, or ego. The Stoic practice is to pause, to observe the emotion, to identify the judgment underlying it, and then, and only then, to decide how to respond rationally and virtuously. This isn't about suppressing emotion, but about refusing to be enslaved by it. Imagine a difficult email lands in your inbox, filled with criticism. Your heart races, a knot forms in your stomach, and your first thought is to fire back an equally sharp retort. But if you practice the discipline of assent, you halt that immediate impulse. You take a breath. You acknowledge the feeling of anger or frustration, but you don't let it seize control of your fingers on the keyboard. You ask yourself, is this emotion serving me? Is reacting impulsively going to improve the situation or escalate it? What is the virtuous response here? Perhaps the virtuous response is to wait an hour or even a day to craft a calm, measured reply. Perhaps it's to seek clarity rather than assign blame. Or perhaps it's to simply let it go, recognizing that some criticisms reveal more about the critic than about you. Choosing silence isn't a sign of weakness. It's a testament to immense inner strength and self-control. It allows you to preserve your mental energy, avoid unnecessary conflict, and maintain your integrity. It grants you the power to choose your battles wisely, to speak only when your words add value, and to let go of the need to always have the last word. This reflective pause, this deliberate decision not to react emotionally, is a powerful antidote to the impulsivity and reactivity that characterize much of our modern discourse. It allows you to become an observer of your emotions rather than their victim, guiding your actions with reason rather than being swept away by the tide of immediate feeling. In our continuous quest for connection and authenticity, vulnerability has become a celebrated virtue, and indeed, healthy vulnerability, sharing our true selves, our struggles, our hopes with trusted individuals, is crucial for deep relationships. However, the Stoics would caution us about vulnerability, when unchecked, turning into a trap, a dependency on others' approval that erodes your progress. There's a fine line between opening yourself up and leaving yourself exposed to every stray opinion, every fleeting judgment. When our sense of self is too permeable, too easily influenced by the winds of others' opinions, we become unstable. We lose our inner compass. The Stoic concept of building a secure mental refuge is not about retreating from the world or becoming emotionally invulnerable in an unhealthy way. Rather, it is about constructing an inner fortress of self-reliance where your core values and principles remain undisturbed by external turbulence. It's about distinguishing between sharing your authentic self and constantly seeking affirmation for your worth. The former is a gift, the latter is a burden. When you are overly dependent on external validation, every setback, every criticism, every lack of praise feels like a personal attack, a confirmation of your inadequacy. This erodes your autonomy and distracts you from your path. Imagine a craftsman diligently working on a project, pouring their skill and passion into every detail. If they pause every few minutes to solicit opinions, constantly second-guessing their technique based on unsolicited advice or superficial glances, their progress will be fragmented and their vision compromised. Their work becomes a reflection of collective consensus rather than their own mastery. Similarly, when we fail to build a mental refuge, we become overly susceptible to the toxicity of comparison and criticism. Social media, in particular, often presents curated highlight reels, fostering an environment where we constantly measure our ordinary lives against others' extraordinary moments. This comparison is a thief of joy, breeding envy, inadequacy, and a perpetual sense of not being enough. A mental refuge, therefore, involves establishing clear boundaries. It means recognizing that while feedback can be valuable, not all opinions are equal, and some are simply noise. It requires cultivating a robust inner dialogue where you are your own primary judge, measuring your actions against your own deeply held principles, not against the shifting sands of public opinion. This refuge is built through consistent self-reflection, journaling, and silent contemplation. It's where you process external events, filter out the unhelpful, and reinforce your commitment to your chosen path. It allows you to reclaim your autonomy, to trust your own judgment, and to create space for honest self-reflection, free from the distortions of others' expectations or criticisms. This isn't selfishness, it's self-preservation, a necessary step towards authentic progress and inner peace. One of the most potent weapons in our arsenal against the chaos of modern life is emotional education and disciplined rationality. Many people view emotions as unpredictable, overwhelming forces that simply happen to them. We often feel like passive recipients of anger, anxiety, or sadness, believing we have little control over their arrival or intensity. But the Stoics presented a radical alternative. Emotions are not mere feelings, but rather judgments, our interpretations of events. When we feel anger, it's often because we've judged something as unjust or offensive. When we feel anxiety, it's often because we've judged a future event as threatening. Change the judgment, and you can change the emotion. This understanding forms the bedrock of emotional education. It doesn't mean we become emotionless robots. It means we become skilled navigators of our inner landscape. We learn to identify the judgments that fuel our emotional storms, and through disciplined rationality, challenge them. Seneca, one of the most eloquent Stoic philosophers, emphasized the swiftness of certain emotions like anger. He advised that the moment anger begins to stir, we must recognize its onset and hold it back, preventing it from taking root. Because once it does, it's a torrent that's much harder to stop. How do we apply this in our daily lives? Consider a situation where you feel a surge of frustration because your commute is unexpectedly delayed. Your initial judgment might be, "This is unfair. This is ruining my day." This judgment then triggers a cascade of negative emotions: anger, impatience, stress. Through emotional education, you learn to catch that initial judgment. You might then challenge it with rationality. Is this truly ruining my day, or is it just delaying it? Is this within my control? What good can come from being angry right now? You might reframe it. This is an opportunity to practice patience, to listen to that podcast I've been meaning to get to, or simply to observe the world around me. By deliberately questioning your initial, often irrational judgments, you neutralize the sudden emotional storms that could otherwise derail your goals and steal your peace. This disciplined rationality is not about denying your feelings, but about understanding their source and choosing your response. It's about recognizing that while events may be outside your control, your interpretation and reaction to them are entirely within your power. This is the essence of the dichotomy of control, the foundational Stoic teaching. Distinguish what is within your control, your judgments, thoughts, actions, from what is outside your control, everything else. When you focus your energy solely on what you can control, the emotional impact of uncontrollable external events diminishes significantly. This mental discipline acts as your most powerful weapon, allowing you to weather life's inevitable storms with a calm mind and an unshakable inner peace. In an economy of abundant information and constant stimulation, recognizing that attention is your most precious resource is not just wise, it's crucial for your very mental survival. Our attention is finite, a spotlight that can only illuminate one thing at a time. Yet, we live in a world designed to constantly snatch it away, to fragment it, to commodify it. Notifications ping, endless feeds scroll, advertisements vie for our gaze, and breaking news demands our instant consideration. This relentless assault on our attention is not benign. It degrades our capacity for deep work, profound thought, and genuine connection. It erodes our ability to focus, to learn, and to truly experience the present moment. The Stoics, long before the age of smartphones and the internet, understood the importance of prosoche, the continuous application of attention to one's actions, principles, and the present moment. They knew that a wandering mind is a vulnerable mind, easily swayed by external influences and internal chatter. When your attention is scattered across a dozen different tabs, 100 different notifications, and 1,000 different worries, you become reactive, shallow, and ineffective. You lose the ability to delve deeply into any one task, to truly connect with another person, or to authentically reflect on your own life. Guarding your attention fiercely against meaningless distractions isn't just about productivity. It's about preserving your inner life. It's about protecting the sacred space where true thought and wisdom reside. Think of your attention as a limited wellspring of energy. Every time you switch tasks, every time you check an unnecessary notification, every time you allow your mind to drift into unproductive worry, you are siphoning off that energy. Soon, the well is dry, and you're left feeling depleted, overwhelmed, and unable to focus on what genuinely matters. Practically, this means cultivating deliberate habits. It means creating focused blocks of time where you eliminate all potential distractions, silencing your phone, closing unnecessary tabs, and giving your undivided attention to a single task. It means practicing mindfulness throughout your day, consciously bringing your awareness back to the present moment, to the taste of your food, the sensation of your breath, the words being spoken in a conversation. It means regularly auditing where your attention is going and consciously redirecting it towards your values and goals. It's recognizing that every scroll, every click, every moment of passive consumption is a choice, and that choice has a profound impact on your mental landscape. By consciously choosing where to place your attention, you reclaim control over your most valuable resource, creating the mental space necessary for clarity, purpose, and inner peace. Finally, let us be clear. This mental armor doesn't appear overnight. It demands conscious, continuous practice and the courage to confront your desires with reason, avoiding emotional enslavement. Stoicism is not a philosophy to be studied from an armchair. It is a way of life, a daily discipline, an ascesis, a form of rigorous training. Just as an athlete trains their body, a Stoic trains their mind. You wouldn't expect to build muscle by reading a book about weightlifting. Similarly, you won't build resilience and wisdom by simply reading about Stoicism. You must do it. This practice involves a constant confrontation with your own desires. We are bombarded with messages that tell us we need more possessions, more pleasure, more status. These desires, left unchecked, can become tyrannical masters, driving us relentlessly towards things that often fail to deliver lasting satisfaction and instead plunge us into anxiety and dissatisfaction. The Stoics understood that true freedom comes not from fulfilling every desire, but from understanding which desires are truly necessary and which are merely superfluous, often leading to enslavement. Think about the allure of instant gratification. A new gadget, a tempting dessert, a fleeting distraction online. These desires pull at us, promising immediate pleasure or relief. But often, yielding to them leads to regret, procrastination, or a sense of emptiness. The courage to confront your desires with reason means pausing before you act. It means asking, is this desire truly aligned with my highest values? Is this going to bring me genuine, long-term benefit, or just a momentary flicker of pleasure, followed by potential regret? It means cultivating temperance, the virtue of moderation and self-control, through practices like voluntary discomfort, choosing sometimes to forego a comfort or a pleasure, not because it's inherently bad, but to strengthen your resolve against craving and attachment. This continuous practice manifests in various ways: a morning routine that primes your mind for the day, an evening reflection that reviews your actions and judgments, regular journaling to clarify your thoughts, and the deliberate application of Stoic principles in real-time situations. It means consciously choosing patience when you feel impatient, choosing kindness when you feel irritated, choosing reason when you feel emotional. It's a lifelong journey of self-mastery, a persistent effort to align your inner world with your deepest values. Each conscious choice, each moment of restraint, each act of rational reflection builds another brick in your mental refuge, strengthening your emotional education, sharpening your attention, and solidifying your autonomy. It is through this diligent, unwavering practice that you avoid emotional enslavement and unlock a profound sense of inner freedom. By the end of this journey, you won't just understand Stoicism as a philosophy. You'll feel it as a living practice, one that guides you to act with silent resolve, to cultivate inner peace unshaken by external opinions, and most importantly, to unlock a version of success defined not by others, but by the clarity, balance, and inner peace, and control you wield over yourself. This is the promise of Stoicism. Not a life free of challenge, but a life free of undue suffering, anchored by an unshakable inner calm. Remember Epictetus's profound wisdom. We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them. Your power lies not in controlling the world, but in controlling your mind. Will you continue to allow the invisible obstacles, the cravings for approval, the impulsive reactions, the scattered attention, the unexamined desires to sabotage your growth? Or will you embrace the rigorous yet liberating path of Stoicism, forging a life defined by your own unwavering virtue and inner peace? The choice, as always, is yours. What steps will you take today to reclaim your mind, to silence the noise, and to truly command your emotions? If this message resonated with you, consider subscribing to the channel for more insights into living a more thoughtful and resilient life, and leave a comment below sharing one practical step you're committed to taking this week.